Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Just Talking About Sports. I'm Ethan.
I'm Matthew Posner.
And I'm Mr. Bosco.
And what are we doing today, Matthew?
Talking about sports.
Yep, today this is our 16th episode of Just Talking About Sports, and today we're going to be doing the Predict the Pick Challenge, where we're going to be going through the entire first round of the NFL Draft and attempt to predict every single pick right, and what do you know, we might have a chance to get some Super Bowl tickets. But without further ado, we'll start off with the first pick, where it's pretty obvious, but there is a little bit of debate. But the Cincinnati Bengals have the first pick, so we have their needs, and we'll see what you guys think. So, Matt, who do you think they're going to get?
Okay, this is Joe Burrow. If this isn't Joe Burrow, I would be honestly stunned. The way he played at LSU, the way he played at LSU.
It's Joe Burrow. I heard this morning they called him already. He knows it's done deal.
Yeah, I mean, he's the Cincinnati guy. He's literally the best quarterback out there, and they need a quarterback, even though they still have Andy Dalton on the team. But they're still looking for that one piece. I mean, they also still have A.J. Green and Tyler Boyd, so they have some type of offense for Joe Burrow, and they have Joe Mixon too. But the only problem is they're the Bengals, and they're going to find a way to mess it up somehow.
Potentially. But if I'm Zach Taylor there in Cincinnati, I think I'm keeping what's his name there, Dalton, because with the uncertainty of what's going on right now, and you don't know when you're going to have a camp, you're not going to have OTAs. So let's call it what it is. As great as Joe Burrow is, a great college player, one of the greatest college quarterbacks of all time, probably statistically the best season of all time. Is he going to be ready to play in the pros without OTAs, without all that team contact? So for him to be able to even kind of watch, learn the system, just if there is a season, we won't get into that yet. Could be good. Could be a blessing in disguise. He can learn a little bit from Dalton for a year.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of what I was thinking too, and that's why they have Dalton sticking around.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's a great guy to be behind, especially giving him a chance to maybe sometime in the middle of the season, kind of like that, or even just pull the full Alex Smith, Patrick Mahomes thing, and keep him out the entire season. Then the next year, just let him rip it and just let him go off. I mean, it took Patrick Mahomes to get them 3 years to get all the way to the Super Bowl and win it. So how long is it before the Bengals make it? So.
And in their situation too, again, given the uncertainty of if there's going to be season or not, where they're going to play, if I'm a team that was taking this previous year, I might take another long look at giving it one more year of taking and trying to get right back up in that top 5, top 10 and give him a playmaker that you could surround him with, or an anchor left tackle. I'm not entirely sure of their needs, but it could be interesting.
Yeah, it all depends because, I mean, their defense is still pretty tragic. That was one of their weaknesses last year, and they're not looking from this Joe Burrow, and they don't really have many other higher picks. The only solution is to get a quarterback, but besides that, they're not going to be able to really do anything because they did not bring anyone in free agency, really. They just signed a bunch of nobodies to high contracts, which is not the smartest idea, but I don't know. It's the Bengals. They're going to continue doing it.
All right, number 2.
Moving on to number 2. So moving from offense to defense, the Redskins have this second pick. So, I mean, there's a really one idea that everyone has in mind that who's going to go, but there is, as Matthew said, there's a potential trades, but there is one guy that we're going to be looking to go after.
Yeah, and that's Chase Young, a defensive end out of Ohio State. This is definitely the spot where he goes. Without Burrow this season, if Burrow would have never emerged at LSU, Chase Young was the consensus first pick, and it's because of the way Burrow played at LSU that he moved down, but he is still by far one of the best players in this draft, and he'll go number 2.
Yeah, there's an edge rusher like him. They're not, you can't find them everywhere, right? So having a guy like him available and you're there, like if I'm Washington, I don't move out of that pick. I take him. I mean, you got to throw me a lot if you want to come up in there and get Chase Young. So I think he's a lock going to Washington.
And Chase Young's going to fit into that new Ron Rivera defense very, very well. I mean, that Washington defense was pretty decent last year, so just adding Chase Young is only going to make them better, despite them being not the greatest team overall. But then getting Dwayne Haskins to sink into their team would be the recipe. Like, it'd be very, very good for them to do that and get Chase Young situated, and it's a very, very smart pick. So if I were Washington, I would not try and trade back. I mean, Chase Young is not this, this is a player you should not skip on or move back on because he's very, very talented, and he's shown that he's one of the better defensive ends that could merge easily, because we all saw with Nick Bosa, he just went right into the league and he was very, very good. And he was picked in the second. He was the second pick in last year's draft as a defensive end, and now Chase Young is going to try and live up to his things. And what he's shown in college, just like he should easily merge into the NFL.
And while we're on the topic, real quick, Trent Williams is still there, and do not be surprised if this ends up not being their only pick in the first round.
Very surprised. I mean, there's plenty of trade opportunities. So
yes, including my own team, which we'll get to in a couple of minutes, unfortunately.
Yes.
All right, let's move on to number 3.
Number 3, the Detroit Lions have this pick. They have plenty of needs,
they always have needs.
Yes, they always have. They've been struggling for years, and who knows? They finally got the 3rd pick, so this is a higher up opportunity for them to get a pick. They have way too many needs, but they got to definitely start off with the defense because they are struggling with that the most. So there's 2 guys in mind that I have, but obviously I picking Jeff Okudah. God, I can't say his name, but he's one of the better cornerbacks in the league. He's from Ohio State. He was an absolute shutdown guy. The only problem is, do you really take a cornerback this high in the draft? Is it really worth it? There's plenty of other people on the board. Who do you take? So if I were them, I would still stick with Jeff Okudah. I don't know.
Just say Jeff.
To say.
Yeah, I mean, that's a high.
Yeah.
That's just high to take a corner. I mean, he's talented, but when I look at building a defense, I'm thinking 3 other positions before I'm taking a corner. Right, I'm obviously taking an edge rusher. I'm taking probably a middle linebacker. I'm taking a safety before I take a corner. So, as talented as he is, that's high for me for a corner. But if I'm Detroit, I might look to move out of this. I don't know what's available, but just if there's any calls, I think if you're Detroit, you listen. You really do.
The one thing I would say here is that I think that there's one person we're all forgetting about, and that's Mr. Isaiah Simmons. In middle linebacker and safety, who he might play both positions for Detroit's defense. I think they realize it's too high to take a corner. They get a little gutsy, and they go Isaiah Simmons with the 3rd pick.
Yeah, I had that in the back of my mind as well.
So you have both Isaiah Simmons. I mean, there's also the opportunity of them trading back to get even more picks, but
I don't think they're going to trade out.
They really need one good player that could stand out on that defense. So this is
exactly.
Either Jeffrey. I mean, Isaiah Simmons had one of the best 40-yard dash times out of things
ever
for a linebacker. I mean, jeez, for a guy to run close to that 40.0 something, I think, right? I don't remember the exact time, but he was very, very fast. So I mean,
when was the last corner taken this high? Was it? It was Cleveland, right?
Cleveland.
Yeah, Denzel Ward.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cleveland got Denzel Ward, and he's been all right.
He's taken 4.
Yeah, was he worth that pick? I mean, if we go back and look at who was taken after him, I'm sure that's revisionist history. But I would lean Isaiah Simmons here.
Yeah, me too.
Stable linebacker, especially with that. You guys, I mean, can really convince me. And Okudah's great and all, but taking him too high is a big risk. So Isaiah Simmons is the safest pick for Detroit here.
All right, number 4.
Yep.
Yeah, I think we stay with everything I'm seeing in the mocks. I think that the Giants have no other choice but to take a tackle, and Becton's the best tackle available. And you already have your young franchise quarterback. I think you kind of start to hunker down that line. I think that's the most important.
Mm-hmm.
I actually don't have them taking an offensive lineman here at 4. A lot of people have them taking an offensive lineman. I love defensive line personally. The Giants struggled to get any rushers and true defensive stalwarts last year. And I look at the man from Auburn, Mr. Derek Brown, at number 4, and I think that he might be a perfect fit for this Giants defense, and I have him getting taken here at 4.
That's definitely a possibility. I just think that kind of, if I could hone in on what I think Gettleman's trying to do, is I think he's going to try to put as much around, his young franchise quarterback that he can, even though he still looks like Eli Manning.
Yeah, they need help on the offense standpoint. I mean, offensive tackle-wise would be huge, and there's plenty of offensive tackles in this first round. It's just a matter of who do they want. I mean, Becton, I'm pretty sure, is one of the better guys, although he failed his physical, I believe. So I think
interesting.
So he's not been – there's been definitely worries there, but That's why everyone's been moving this guy from Alabama, Wills, who's just an absolute beast. I mean, he's just strong. So, and they're definitely needing someone so they have a chance to actually have some type of offense, because they definitely took a dip offensively this year. I mean, they have Saquon Barkley. They have plenty of named talents on their team, including Danny Dimes. But I think getting that offensive lineman is huge. I know Brown is down there, but at this point, the number one opportunity they need to fix is their offense. So that's why I still say they stick with this offensive lineman, and I think they stick with Wills.
All right, fair enough.
So
yeah, I'm good there.
2-on-1. I think we're taking Wills.
Go with me. Yeah, I just think it's offensive line.
All right.
Number 5. This is his pick.
Moving on to number 5, my Miami Dolphins. Man, there's been so much speculation over this pick, whether they're going to be moving up, moving down, who they're going to be taking, a offensive lineman, a defensive lineman, anybody. The real logic thing is that they're going to be taking a quarterback. Tua has been their guy since the start. They've been watching him for years. He's shown collegely, not just during this offseason that he can't play, but all the records that he's set, all the history that he's made playing for Alabama, that has proven enough that's shown that he's a great player. Yes, it's maybe just because he's in the Alabama system, but I truly believe that he's one of the better quarterbacks in this draft. And I think he is, in my opinion, the best quarterback besides Joe Burrow in this draft. And I think there's been such a connection between the Dolphins and Tua. I mean, them and their agent, Tua's agent, and the Dolphins GM have been best buddies on Twitter. They've been talking back and forth, liking each other. And then when that came out, when they saw that the Dolphins were so much in favor, there's been so much speculation after, because the Dolphins, in my opinion, because if you don't know, all that speculation of the Dolphins choosing has only coming from one source. It's coming from the Miami Herald. But you think of conspiracy-wise, they're just trying to get rid of people from taking them early and making them have to trade up, because after it came out that they really wanted Tua, they're just trying to get rid of that so they don't have to give up stuff for Tua. Instead, just let him come to them, just let them fall into their hands, basically. And that's why I think that Tua is the better guy. Yes, Justin Herbert is one of the better quarterbacks too, but I think that Tua is that leadership. He has that the one piece that the Dolphins have been looking for. And yes, he is injured, and yes, he's prone, but they've been doing probably the same situation with Andy Dalton, Joe Burrow. They're probably going to let Tua sit out a season. They still have Fitzmagic there, who's supposed to be their quarterback for the start of the 2020 season. So that's why I'm hoping for the Dolphins to take Tua. I think he's going to fit very well into our system, and I'm just hoping that this actually happens.
And, to your point, this idea that, they still have Ryan Fitzpatrick there. I mean, it's interesting because, again, due to the circumstances of the virus, that, maybe teams aren't as hesitant with his potential injury, because they're kind of thinking to themselves, we're going to give him some time to get right, because we know that we're not going to be able to get him up to speed to be our opening day starting quarterback. So maybe we take him with the idea that, hey, he's going to learn week by week, day by day with Fitzpatrick. And if we don't get to play him until, 2021, it is what it is. But I know that's a lot to consider when you're, taking someone to fifth pick and that slotted money. But with the uncertainty of today, it's just, I don't think that, if this was a regular year, there might be some more pause than there could be. But he could also fall. I don't know.
Yeah.
I have my bold prediction here for this pick. I'm not taking Tua. And I think that there's reasons as to why here. I think that this is not the year to draft a quarterback for Miami. You've still got another year out of Fitzpatrick that I think you can just use, or Fitzpatrick.
Yeah, but he's a stopgap. Everybody knows he's a stopgap.
I mean, we all know he's a stopgap, but at this point, you might as well just hold him on for another year. And because I think we've seen him, he's the second in the league in rushing. So, I mean, for quarterbacks. Third. Sorry, my bad. But, led the team in rushing. Anyway, I think that they take Willis here. You guys had Willis last pick. I have Willis this pick. You guys need an offensive line. If we learned anything from Patrick Laird last year, 20 carries and 8 yards in a single game, not helping. So I think an offensive line could really, really help. If you get one more piece to recover from the Laramie Tunsil going to Houston, that's the piece.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah, I'll go real quick, because I know you said that Fitzmagic was the leading rusher in the Dolphins. That's because they had 4 different running backs, or even 5, I think, during the entire year. So it was easy for a quarterback to have that much rushing yards. So that's kind of out of the blue. But going back to the thing, they also have people forget they also still have Josh Rosen on the team. So they have Fitzmagic, they have Josh Rosen, who, if you don't know, Josh Rosen's actually younger than Joe Burrow. So they have still a young quarterback on this team that's still looking to prove himself. So they have him, they have Rosen, they have it. If they get Tua, that's big competition. I know it's going to sound like they're the Washington Redskins, where they have 5 quarterbacks on the team and they're attempting to make competition. But I think getting another quarterback to add to that, yes, Fitzmagic may be able to carry them for another year, but he's a journeyman. He's not a Super Bowl. In my opinion, he's great. No, I don't think he's a Super Bowl caliber quarterback. I can carry him all the way to that point. Yes, he could make them win a few games, and yes, he beat the Patriots once. But has he won those other few games against those other teams? No, he hasn't, because they had a record of 5-11. I think that's what they finished. So there's plenty of opportunities. I think the quarterback is the number one thing they fit. They still have 2 other draft picks in this first round, which they have said that they want to go after an offensive line, because there is 4 offensive linemen that are very, very good, that are all probably equally potential in this first draft.
Yeah, and I might target, if I was them, the young man out of Michigan. Forgetting his name off the top of my head.
Find his name. Ruiz.
Ruiz, right? Which I think they could slot right there at that 26th pick.
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of hope they don't, because I hope he falls to 43 or wherever the Bears are. But I just, it goes to the old NFL adage, right? Of if you have 2 quarterbacks, do you have one? And so, are the Dolphins? If the Dolphins want 2 of them, they're going to take 2 here. They're going to commit to him. You got to trade Josh Rosen, and the carousel for him will just continue. If not, then maybe Josh Rosen could be your guy, and you figure it out. Maybe he does sit 1 more year, and you take a tackle here. But I don't know. Like Ethan said, I just feel like they've been linked, since like he was a freshman. Kind of one of those.
I think
things
Rosen. I'm telling you this. I think Rosen needs to get a chance somewhere for a year to see if A, he really is just not good enough, or B, the teams just aren't using him right. I think that if Rosen gets a chance, let's say for a year here in Miami, let's say Rosen gets his chance and he starts. If he ends up playing pretty well, then they don't have to worry about drafting a quarterback, and they may have found their quarterback of the future when they didn't even realize it.
Could be. There's another team in the same division up north that's looking for a quarterback, so anything's on the table.
You guys already have 2 quarterbacks, so if you really want to make it 3, you guys can. Give us some more draft.
We only have 1, so that's all right. Number 6.
Yes.
Let's go to
we'll be drafting Tua, because that's just the most logical pick in my opinion.
Yeah, I just think this whole thing is going to be too difficult if we try to do trades in our head. So
we're just going as if every team is drafting like all 32, because the trades don't count on these.
Yeah.
So
we're at 6 here. I think they go tackle. I think they go offensive lineman.
Los Angeles Chargers. I almost said San Diego at the 6th pick, and they got plenty of needs too.
They also, I think, have the most fire jerseys.
Oh my gosh!
Yes,
by far. Those jerseys that came out. Gosh.
Yeah, they did a nice job.
Now, if only the Patriots would have done that, because their jerseys are ugly.
Well, I actually think the
Patriots
jerseys are nice too. But the Chargers are fire. Chargers are fire.
I like the logo.
I'm gonna say no. I think this is a tackle. I can't see. Herbert is not good.
Okay, doesn't mean the Chargers don't want him.
I don't think they do.
For so many years.
I'm gonna be honest with you.
Phillip Rivers, though.
He
is such like a Phillip Rivers type player.
Anthony Lynn, from what I hear, from what I've read, loves. Why am I forgetting his name? Off the top of my head.
Is it the dude from Louisville or the dude from Iowa?
No, Tyrod
Taylor.
T-Mobile.
There we go.
My name. Anthony Lynn loves Tyrod Taylor, from what I've read.
You think he's their quarterback?
So I think he's their quarterback right now. I think because this team is good enough to win games with a solid quarterback. And I think Tyrod Taylor has proven to you that he could be a solid game manager plus type quarterback. So if I'm Los Angeles, I'm taking what the team needs. I think I'm taking a tackle here. I'll take a potential, flyer. Maybe I'll take a 2nd round, 3rd round. Maybe I'll look at a, God, who knows? You know, some of these other quarterbacks that are available later on, Love or
Jordan Love, yeah.
or you know, something like that later on in the draft, because I think, you know, they're kind of in a win now mode. And to take Herbert there, to me, Herbert's more of a project than Burrow and Tua. Tua obviously has the health issue, but to me, Herbert's a project. Herbert is not a slot play. Herbert is what Mitch Trubisky. I'm going to the Mitch Trubisky thing again because I'm scarred for life, right? But I just think he's not ready. He might be good, but you've seen he's has issues with accuracy, and that is the one weakness that I would not want to draft in a quarterback after having seen some of these guys. You know, of course, my biased example is Mitch Trubisky. Accuracy issues are bad. Bad.
Yeah, I mean,
I still believe in Herbert going here, though. I'll finish here real quick, and then you can go, Ethan. I still believe in Herbert going here. I feel as though, yes, that they really like Tyrod Taylor. Then give him a year to start and let Herbert learn behind him then. But I think they need to find a quarterback for the future, and Tyrod Taylor isn't it. And while they have a pick this high because their team's going to be good, they need to take advantage on drafting a quarterback for the future. And I think Herbert is that guy. They take him here high because they know they won't have a pick like this again in the near future.
So let me count real quick, Ethan. Yeah. I'm going to counter your point, Matthew. I think that's the opposite of what they should do. If they kind of lucked into being bad enough to get here, right? Like, I think they're a good team, but Derwin James everybody was hurt. Everybody was hurt. So to me, this is like the anomaly pick. So if I'm the Chargers, I'm like, man, I got to get, like, we have the chance to get that last piece that we need, you know, to win in a division that's, you know, solid. It's possibly the best division in the AFC. Now it has to be, right? I'm thinking that maybe the AFC North.
I would say probably the North is better, yeah.
The North might be better, but the East is different, right? The East, I just think, is Buffalo's to lose, but we'll get back to that later. But I just think that for them, they need to take something that puts them on the – I mean, they're not obviously on the level of a KC, but, you know, they can be.
Yeah, so, I mean, people forget how good Tyrod Taylor was when he was a starting quarterback. He led the Buffalo Bills to the playoffs when they played. Yes, they lost to Jacksonville that year when Jacksonville had an unbelievable defense, but he still carried them to the playoffs, and he was a very, very good quarterback. Now he's set as a backup player, the backup quarterback, the last 2 years behind Philip Rivers, learning the offense of these Chargers, and now it's his time to take over the offense. So now that he's able to step on and be able to play, he's a quarterback that can definitely take game changer stuff, and that's why I believe in you, Mr. Bosco, because he could definitely take this offense. And this Chargers team, I remember last year I predicted the Chargers going very, very far because of all the players and all the talent that they
had them in the Super Bowl, yep. Mm-hmm.
I had them going very, very far, and then magically they didn't even make the playoffs, and they have this kick now how bad they did. But now that they got rid of Phil Rivers, their old quarterback, they now have basically they didn't really lose that many players. They still have their defense because everyone was just injured. Now that they're all finally returning back, they have people like Mike Williams, they feel like Keenan Allen to throw to. Tyrod Taylor we easily fit into because in Buffalo he didn't really have that many great wide receivers to throw to. Now he's got great wide receivers. Now he has Austin Eckler, a PPR god running back that could catch and run the ball very, very well. They're the most well-around team in that AFC West team besides the Chiefs. And they're in this AFC West division, I think they're one of the better teams in the AFC because the AFC is definitely going to struggle this year. They do not have much talent on their team. So this is I really do believe I see the Chargers completely switching their record from last year, going having a way better record, having so much success. And that's why I think they don't need to take a quarterback because of all the success that they know they're already going to have, most likely, if everyone stays healthy. And I think the only easy way to help with this Tyrod Taylor being able to merge easily into the offense is get that offensive lineman. Like you said, Bosco, I know Herbert's out there, and he's been having plenty of worries because his leadership is not the greatest. His accuracy, like you said, is not the greatest. There's some definitely question marks that raise some concerns about Herbert being drafted this high, and that's why I don't think they should take them this high. And there's plenty of opportunities for them if they want to even trade back to even get a Jordan Love if he's still available. But I think for now, if they're going to stay where they are, they have to draft an offensive lineman. That's why I have them taking that guy from Louisville, who's also a forced weapon with Mekhi Becton. Despite him messing up his physical, I think they still take them, and just like the Dolphins, they'll lovely have him just fall into right in their hands. They would love to take him. So.
All right, fair enough. I don't have anything else to add here.
All right, number 7.
Row 7.
This
Carolina
is
Panthers.
Panthers pick, right? Yeah.
All right.
Let's
so
see here.
I'll start this one
Akuda
off.
is still on the board for me. What about you guys? Is he still on the
Yep.
board for you guys?
Jeff
Who's
Okudah
that?
is still on the board.
Jeff Akuda, the
Okudah,
kid
yeah.
from Ohio State.
Yeah,
He's still on the
Jeff
board,
Okudah.
right?
We drafted Derek Brown, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, I drafted Derek Brown, yeah.
I still say I have him getting Jeff Okudah here because
Yeah, I say
can't
Okudah
a guy
here.
like this. I mean, this cornerback we've already talked about him. He's really, really good. But since if Detroit passes on him like we think they're supposed to, I think it's just smart for them. Yes, Derek Brown would also help, but right now that getting this what's passing up on someone like Jeff Okudah would just not be very smart for this Carolina team. They have plenty of needs, like defensive, like it's basically they need a defensive lineman or they need a cornerback. So it's basically a flip of a coin. They want Derek Brown who will easily fit into the offense, or they want Jeff Okudah to easily fit into the offense. But I think getting a quarterback is a harder position to draft, and that's why I think they get Jeff Okudah.
Yeah, I'm good with Jeff Okudah here. I agree.
Yeah, I agree 100% with that. So, not a lot of conversation going here.
No, I think not much. It's pretty logical here.
All right, pick
2-8.
number 8.
Arizona?
The Cardinals, yes.
Right? Yeah.
Arizona Cardinals at number 8.
Man. They will not have anywhere close to this pick next year. So let's see here. Is this a place for an offensive lineman, you guys think?
Yeah,
Yeah, I was thinking so too.
Any question?
We
I
took
still have
Wills
not drafted
already, right?
Becton, so I already have drafted Willis, but I didn't draft Becton yet because of the failed physical issue.
Oh, we
And
got
there's still-
Wirfs.
We got Wirfs from Iowa. I think they pass on Becton still. I know that he's a physical monster, but when you fail a physical and you can't like see him work out and stuff, that's automatically a concern. The coronavirus and all that now, especially since he failed the physical, really has to concern a lot of teams. And so I think Becton still gets passed on here, and I think Tristan Wirfs gets drafted here.
I like Wirfs here as well.
Yeah, Wirfs is one of the better offensive linemen, and that's the final piece that they need after getting DeAndre Hopkins.
The real question is, or the real answer is poor Deshaun Watson for what Bill O'Brien has done to his team.
Absolutely.
I just think, to be fair, you should just trade Deshaun Watson to the Bears.
I'm sure you'd like that.
Hey,
Or he should have been.
Deshaun Watson was seen wearing a Dan Marino jersey or shirt in Miami practicing during this coronavirus. So if there's anywhere he needs to go, there's a chance he goes to Miami.
You two are way too like, I don't know. I don't even understand. Well, it's my pick now, isn't it? We're at 9, aren't we?
Yes, we are at 9.
All right. So you guys do not have Tua on the boards, right? Neither of you have Tua on the board, right?
Nope.
Correct.
Okay. I have Herbert off the board. Neither of you have Herbert off the board, do you?
No, we still have Herbert.
Okay. Well, do you guys think we draft a quarterback here? Yes or no?
I don't.
Yeah, I don't either. But
The
if
loss
Tua's
of-
here still.
With the loss of so many guys that they've lost on defense over the last few years, I think he may. I could see Kidlaw going here.
How about
or
Shazam, the
Derek
kid
Brown.
from LSU?
We still have Derek Brown, so I think if there's anyone that he would.
Oh, if you guys still have Derek Brown, then that's easily the pick here.
Yeah, I would go Derek Brown here.
He's
Derek Brown's off my board, though, so I'm going to go with Shazam, the kid from LSU, linebacker. He played very well in CFP, and I think that really helped boost his overall standing. And so I think Shazam will go here, 9 to the Jaguars, start building the defense.
He's a stud.
He is.
very, very well. But so is Derek Brown, so that's why I think we're going to.
Yeah, I would rather have Derek Brown, but I don't think he's going to fall all the way down here.
Huh. You really think that who'd you have him taking? You have
Who do I have? What take? I have the Giants take that took Derek Brown for. Yeah.
I think
You guys went offensive line. I went defensive line there.
No matter who, Jackson's definitely getting some on the defense. So
Agreed.
moving on to the pick number 10, final pick in the top 10, the Cleveland Browns are here, and despite all the bandwagons, all the hype, they are still somehow in the top 10 first-round draft picks. So the number one need they have right now is an offensive lineman to help save Baker Mayfield from getting hit 24/7. So, I mean, there's –
I would just say best available lineman here.
There is still some limited ones, but I think Andrew Thomas from Georgia is still
We
one of
have
the higher.
4 offensive linemen in the top. You guys have 4 offensive linemen in the top 10.
I mean, there's definitely a need for them. They have to be taken. Everyone needs this offensive line help. So, and they're the guys there. So I think we have them. At least in my opinion, I have them leaving early.
I still have had Becton fall all the way down here. That's a pick the Browns will take and be very pleased with.
You agree with me taking offensive lineman here, the Browns?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Andrew Thomas, I think, is right now a great pick for them. I'm telling you, those top 4 that we already have, they're definitely worthy of taking. They've all shown that they have great talent. I think they're all going to succeed where they're supposed to go.
Agreed.
All righty, moving on to the Jets. Oh, the Jets.
Oh, Jets.
What do they need? They need literally everything. As they are just
Wide receiver. This is definitely a receiver pick. I don't know what much debate there is here. You look at the receivers that are still on the board, and they see Jerry Jeudy still here, and they're going to be like, oh, okay. And he's gone in an instant. So Jeudy is not going to be picked by any of the teams in the top 10 because most of these teams don't need receivers. Well, I said most, but, there's still a couple. But if you're looking for a main need, the Jets definitely need a receiver. Jerry Jeudy is still here. They're taking him.
I take Jeudy here, too.
Mm-hmm. Jerry Judy's the tall guy from Alabama who was an absolute stud. He was going off every single game that he played.
I mean, I would take him or Lamb.
Mm-hmm. Lamb is the speedy guy, but they did get rid of Robbie Anderson. So they don't have any speedy guys, but I think they need someone, a solid route runner in Jerry Jeudy that can catch the ball. If Sam Darnold's in trouble, just lob it to him, and he's definitely got the hype of Julio Jones-esque type player. So I think he's the best wide receiver here out of all the.
Yeah, I'm good.
We're on Vegas now, aren't we?
We are moving to the Oakland Vegas Raiders.
It's not Oakland anymore.
Well, we don't know yet.
I'm thinking another receiver. Again.
I'll take CeeDee Lamb right here.
Yep, same here.
Fastest wide receiver.
That did not take long.
Or do you or does someone go up and grab Ruggs? Does Ruggs get taken before? I don't think he gets taken before Lamb.
I doubt Ruggs gets taken before Lamb. I doubt it.
They're going for the speed, and that's why they're going to get CeeDee Lamb. He had the fastest 40-yard dash time. He's definitely showing he's got the speed, and the Raiders need any type of wide receiver at the moment to help whoever's that quarterback, either Derek Carr or Marcus Mariota. Who knows who's going to be quarterback there, but I think the best wide receiver here for them is either CeeDee Lamb or it's basically CeeDee Lamb. So very obvious picks.
And then you have the Niners who, by trading DeForest Buckner, have fallen themselves here to the 13th pick. So that was an interesting trade, in my opinion, that, raised some eyebrows. They did get a good pick from it, though. Richard Sherman can't do everything, though, for a corner. They are missing a second corner, and I think that they take C.J. Henderson out of Florida with this pick here, 13. What do you guys think about that one?
Yeah, I agree.
I think despite them needing a cornerback, I think they still need a wide receiver. Because after trading Emmanuel Sanders, they're kind of don't really have that many wide receivers on their team anymore. Yes, they are a running back heavy team, but they do need a wide receiver that can get out every once in a while. I think they would more go towards a wide receiver, but cornerback is someone definitely they still need. I mean, their defense was already stacked. They didn't really lose anybody cornerback wise, I mean, they only lost people on the defensive line, so there's someone the place they need someone would be in the defensive line. That's why if they were going to take it, that's why I have either a wide receiver or a defensive lineman, which if there's really any defensive linemen left, I mean, they could.
Yeah, I'll back off from my Henderson pick now that I think about this. You bring up a very good point. Why I forgot about Sanders going to New Orleans, and so not only that, DeForest Buckner could be filled by Javon Kinlaw. Ruggs or Kinlaw? What are we going with here? I think it's one of the two. Which one?
For San Francisco, correct?
Yes. San Francisco.
I go receiver.
Receiver.
All right, then I'll go with you on that one. I'll take Ruggs. 3 straight receivers.
I really believe that. It's gonna be crazy. I think they're gonna go 3 straight.
That's interesting.
Very weird, but hey, I think that all those teams need wide receivers. So Then moving on to the 14th pick, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who now have.
You mean the Tampa Bay Patriots, right?
Now, yeah, basically, I was gonna say they now have Gronk, they have Brady, and they still have everybody from last year. I mean, what they really only need is once again an offensive lineman, or even like a running back.
Or a running back.
Yeah, someone who could really carry their offense, or like help fix their offense. Because obviously, quarterback and receiver wise, they are, and even tight end, they are completely like settled. They're set for life basically with those guys. But they just need one more piece in that offense, and their defense was already showing that they're great. But what about a cornerback too here? I mean, cornerback or safety, they've shown that they've struggled in that position. So maybe taking someone high here. I mean, we still got Chasen on there. I think I would say Chason.
Jason, I think it's Jason.
Chason, he's still on the board for us as a linebacker, but I don't think they need any linebacker wise. And I mean, DeAndre Swift is still out here too for running backs.
Yes.
So if there's going to be anyone,
that's who I'm taking.
Yeah, I think they're going to go for the running back, and they're going to go out and take DeAndre Swift super high up.
Yeah, I think it's a good pick.
If he can run as fast as he did in Georgia, if he can continue to slither through defenses, DeAndre Swift's going to be a problem. Not only that, with the offense that they've already built in the passing department, that Tampa Bay offense is going to be hard to stop.
Yeah, Ronald Jones is also still there too. So pairing him up with a Ronald Jones guy who's a running back guy that will run straight into the front and right, just go straight, run ahead, run those RB dives, and then you'll have someone like Swift who can be the pass catcher on the outside that'll catch the ball and just zoom through all the wide receivers, kind of like a Christian McCaffrey kind of guy who can just zoom through everybody. He's got the speed, he's got the talent, he's got all the skill sets that you'd ask from a running back, and that's why he deserves to be taken this high in this draft.
All right, I agree with that.
All righty.
215.
Number 15.
I'm sorry, who did we take there?
We took
DeAndre Swift.
Are you fine with that?
Okay. Yeah.
We fine with that. We forgot to talk to you, but we'll move right back to the Broncos. Number 15. They have a 15th draft pick. They have a few needs as they're attempting to get Drew Lock settled into their new offense that they have. I mean, with this whole Von Miller situation, do you take another linebacker? But Von Miller is sick with the coronavirus right now, but he looks to be making his regain to health. He's looking like he's going to be a little bit more healthy. But with these types of scares like that, you go after someone in the defense, you go after someone in the offense.
I mean, I still think they're a little offensively challenged here. Do you still have Ruggs on the board?
No, we took him with Vegas.
No,
not Vegas.
San Francisco.
Who did we take him with? San Francisco, right.
So is Henderson still on the board then?
Henderson is still on the board for us, yes.
Okay.
That's what I was thinking because they got rid of Chris Harris.
Yeah, they got rid of Chris Harris. They don't really have anyone on that defensive, like the back of the defense. They need someone of talent that could go up against the top wide receivers in the league and shut them down so they have at least a chance. But stop them offensively, force them to run the ball where they succeed the most because of people like Von Miller and the defensive front is very stacked. So their only weakness really is the backfield. But although, I mean, they're offensively has struggled, but I think this is not the year for them to go after the offense. I think they'll wait at least till next year or find someone later in the draft. And I have them once again taking C.J. Henderson here.
I do as well.
Boom.
Yeah, I'm good there.
All right, 216. This is the Falcons pick here.
They need a lot of help on the defensive side of the ball.
Yes, they do.
I would say either of these linebackers, right? The two young men from LSU are still there, Tyson and Queen, correct?
Yeah.
You still have Queen? Yeah. That's who I was looking at.
Now we have Chasen left, or Chason. So.
Oh, if you guys still have Chason left, then that's the guy.
I think we're going to still pick Chason.
Yeah, I take him there.
Having him fall.
Now, I already lost. Now, Chason is already off my board. But the other linebacker at LSU, Queen, is still on the board for me. So I'm going to take Queen. Because I took Chason with way back up there with Jacksonville. I mean, way up there.
We'll be taking some Chason just because of how far he falls. And we have the Falcons taking them as they look to build their defense up as they hopefully will stay healthy this season as they've been definitely injury prone the last 2 years.
I would like for you all to notice that we're 16 picks in, and there is still one quarterback of a certain notoriety that has not been taken from me yet.
Yep.
Keep that in your back pocket because, yeah, Tua is still on the board for me.
We have Herbert still on the board, too. So.
Yeah, because there's not a lot of teams that we just have went through recently that need a quarterback. So we'll see. And I don't think there's any quarterback issues from, like, after the Chargers. There's really not a lot going in terms of quarterback issues.
Mm-hmm.
All right. This is the Cowboys pick at 17.
Yep. We're halfway, though. Halfway there.
We are.
First round.
Let's
So,
see.
Cowboys first pick.
Cowboys need.
They need defensive.
They could use a receiver.
Robert Quinn.
Could they go Queen here?
Yes, they very well could.
They can go Queen, or they can go Kinlaw. We have Kinlaw or Queen.
Yeah,
you guys still have Kinlaw on the board, so do I.
Yeah, I say they go Kinlaw because they lost. Well, I mean, they obviously lost Robert Quinn, different position, but still lineman.
Yeah, I'm going Kinlaw.
I'm gonna go Kinlaw.
Yeah, because they after Quinn's gone now to the Bears, they really lost that defensive front. They need more of a presence up front, and that's why I haven't taken Kinlaw. So now back to number 18, we have the Dolphins.
This one's yours, Ethan.
I know. So as I said, the Dolphins have already selected Tua. That's their quarterback need now. Their number one thing, like I said earlier, is they're going to go after an offensive lineman. So there's been plenty of them that have been chosen this high up. I think I'm really liking that they are going to take at least a offensive lineman. Just the question is who, and there's very few people left, so it's like a hard choice in who they're going to be looking after. But there's three guys left. There's Ruiz, there's Jones, and there's Kusenberry from LSU. There's three of them. They're all very, very great in their own standpoints. But I think I liked your sneak pick. I'll have them taking Ruiz for this offensive lineman here, attempting to fill that offensive line void. They need somebody, some type of big guy that'll get up here. And if worse comes to worse, they might even trade up in this pick. Who knows? But I think somewhere in this, like the second pick that they choose, they're going to be definitely taking an offensive lineman. So whoever's the top guy will be taken. And at this point right now, I think the top guy is Ruiz, and I have them taking Ruiz.
Oh, they have the 26th pick still, correct?
Yes, that's why I haven't.
I think they wait for Ruiz. Yeah,
I think they wait here.
Do they wait?
Yeah. I think that
because I don't think Ruiz is going to get taken. I don't think Ruiz is going to get taken before 26. So I would probably chill on that.
I think.
But
if they're looking, I think they get another weapon. I think they get a weapon here.
Go after JT.
For Tua.
I was thinking get kid from Colorado, Lucas Chenault or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wide receiver.
However, good. I like him.
However, I still have Tua on my board. So this is where I come full circle with my bold prediction. They don't want to draft Tua at 5 because I feel like they still have concerns with his injury. They don't expect him to fall to 18. And when he does, they draft him. So I still think Tua goes to the Dolphins. It's just not the way you guys.
You think
not
it's
the way. I think it's here.
I think they go get a receiver here.
It's honestly best case scenario if they let Tua fall to their lap at 18 because they get a top 5 pick and then they get what they thought was a top 5 pick in Tua as well. That's best case scenario.
I think Chenault's going to continue to fall. I'm looking at the rest of these teams that pick. The only team that really is going to be looking for a wide receiver is San Francisco, and they're
Higgins
wide receiver in our draft. So I don't think they'll be going after them. That's why I don't see them picking a wide receiver now. And I was looking at other teams that are still on the board. I mean, Xavier McKinley's still on the board, and that's the Dolphins really need, at least defensive-wise, they already have Byron Jones and Xavier Howard, and they need somebody that will play in that safety position. I mean, is McKinley able to be taken this high? It's probably pretty high for him to be taken, but it's a position that they need. So I'm telling you, it's either going to be an offensive lineman or a safety because safety-wise, they get the safety start right away, and then they move their safety Bobby McCain to the nickel where he succeeds the most. And they also still have Eric Rose, a shutdown tight end safety, as I know all the names of all these players, but their entire defense, if they get that one safety, that defensive backfield to be one of the best ones in the league, in my opinion. They're trying to find someone as a Minkah Fitzpatrick, trying to fill that void after trading him. So that's why they need a safety.
I could see that, yeah. I could see McKinney going here.
I'm good with that.
I think McKinley is going to be the guy. They have to secure getting that safety position. And after McKinley, there's not really many great guys. I mean, Delpit might still be one of the guys, but that guy's supposed to fall into the second round. So I think they take.
Yeah, I would say let Delpit fall a little bit further here.
Oh, the Raiders are on the clock again. I wonder from who.
Yeah. Here's the thing with the Raiders here. Earlier I had them taking a receiver. I feel no reason for them to take another. Is this a lineman spot on both defense or on either defense or offense? Or is this like a linebacker?
I have them taking a linebacker here. I'm going to have them take Queen.
Yeah, I have Queen still here, so I have them taking Queen. He's still on the board. He's still one of the higher guys up there from LSU. He's humble. He will be one of the better linebackers out there. If he really falls, he'll just fall right into their lap, and they'll be happy to take him. So they've already got their situation with CeeDee Lamb. They already have him taking the wide receiver here. So now all they need is a linebacker, and that's why I have Queen going in this direction.
I have Kenneth Murray here, the kid from Oklahoma. The reason because Queen and Chasen are both off my board already, and I'm going down to the next best linebacker, and I think Murray showcased his talents very well at Oklahoma. This is a place where he can go and get drafted and pretty much make an instant impact. So I'm going to say Kenneth Murray goes 19. You guys can obviously – I still agree with you.
Yeah, we had Queen still here, and he was by far one of the better players. All righty. Jacksonville.
Hi, Matthew.
Hello. All right, let's see here. 20.
Number 20. Let you take this one.
Man, I got no first-round picks, and each of your teams has 2. I'm just sitting here doing nothing.
He's got 3.
Yeah, 3.
He's got 3, my guy. Let's see here. This is a pick where I think now that we've already established a linebacker, that we need just a defensive lineman. And I see Gross Mato still on this board, and I'm very pleased with that. Where is he? He was from, what was it called? Penn State, right? Yeah, he's from Penn State. I'm definitely taking Gross Mato here.
I like it.
I like that pick, too. I mean, they definitely need someone in that defensive but to give someone at least next to
Calais Campbell replacement.
Calais Campbell replacement. And also, I mean, Ngakwe is going to be gone, too, so sooner or later, right?
We don't want to talk about that one. Let's just leave that one for a couple of minutes, okay?
He might,
well, here's the thing. If that ends up happening tomorrow, we have the next pick here too, because the 21st pick is Phillies. And I'm saying this right now: if they make a trade for Ngakwe, this pick's gone.
Hey, and it's ours. With Miami, I'd love to trade some stuff.
I wouldn't mind that.
Oh well,
here it's
yeah.
21. I think that this is where Chenault goes from Colorado.
I was going to say the same thing at the receiver. I would say either Chenault or Higgins, but I like Chenault.
That's a tough one. I prefer Chenault because of his speed.
I mean,
Higgins is fast too, but I think Chenault better route runner than Higgins.
They don't have a Chenault. I mean, I guess if Deshaun Jackson plays, but he's so old.
Yes, I agree with you.
I don't think they really need him. I think Chenault would fit easily into this offense. I mean, give at least Carson Wentz when he's actually healthy, someone to throw to. So, I mean, Carson Wentz has been struggling so much, and then giving him, I mean, Alshon Jeffrey's old, he's reaching his breaking point. I mean, Deshaun Jackson, he's old, he's reaching that breaking point. They definitely need a wide receiver. It's definitely between Higgins and Chenault, but I think Chenault's a better guy here.
I'm going to say this real quick because I think Minnesota's up next. Is that correct?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Whichever one that Philly doesn't take, Minnesota's taking. So to me, I could flip it both ways. If Chenault gets taken by Philly, the Vikings are going to take Higgins. If Higgins is taken by Philly, I think the Vikings take Chenault. So it just depends on what order you have them in.
Unless they take Jalen Johnson here.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I could definitely see that. But when you just lose Stephon Diggs like that, you desperately need a receiver replacement before anything else. I get that a cornerback position is definitely of need, but I think you got to find a way to replace Stephon Diggs.
I'm going to go Higgins here.
Higgins does that, yeah.
There's also Justin Jefferson, too, from LSU.
I prefer Higgins' speed. The way he runs, he can be like a Deshaun Jackson type player. I do think.
I know a bunch of people. Like, I'm looking at this mock draft here from Bleacher Report. They have Justin Jefferson being picked here. But I do like that speed from Higgins, and I think he's
I like Higgins there.
But I think he's a better wide receiver, and I think he can take him here.
Trying to find a guy here for 23. There he is.
Well, we have one
guy
to scroll down a little bit because this guy should not have fallen. Is just falling right into their arms. I mean, New England Patriots have the pick number 23, and they're looking for a quarterback because who knows if Stidham is really the guy. And we have not touched Justin Herbert yet, so.
Oh, yeah, well, there goes that.
Justin Herbert seems like the guy who would fit into that Bill Belichick offense. Bill Belichick knows how to take the little bit of talent or skill that anyone has and just exploit it to the best way possible. And Justin Herbert would definitely fit into this type of offense where you just have to sit back behind the offensive line that they have and just throw it to wide receivers. Yes, their wide receivers are definitely struggling, and especially with Julian Edelman. Got Edelman just being left here all by himself now. He had actually unfollowed Tom Brady after this whole Gronk thing. If anyone saw that, it's kind of hilarious. But they're definitely needing a quarterback because I don't think Stidham is, in my opinion, Stidham is a fifth-round draft pick. It's a risk. I mean, yes, Tom Brady turned into one of the great guys, but I don't know if Stidham has really proven himself, and that's why I think that Justin Herbert will be taken here as a precaution in case Stidham does not live up to expectations.
What do you think about that one, Bosco? Because I have a different pick here.
I'm going to say not so fast, my friend.
Yes, perfect.
I do not see Bill Belichick using a first-round pick on a quarterback. He's just
me neither. Exactly.
I just don't think that's the way he functions. And I think he is laser focused on making sure that Stidham could be, at the very least, a replacement level player. And I think he really likes Stidham. And I think Stidham's his guy. And I'm not ruling out the fact that maybe he takes Jordan Love here, or maybe he takes.
Yeah, I was thinking about Jordan
Love.
I mean,
I don't know if he's going to take him here. I don't think there's a quarterback taken here. I think they go and take a linebacker here. And I still have Zach Bond or Kenneth Murray available on my board.
Yeah, I was going to say Zach Bond, Kenneth Murray. I'm going to go with a different route than both of you. And I'm going to say, can we get a receiver, please? This is definitely the time for the Patriots. There's still another receiver out here that we haven't touched, and that's Mr. Justin Jefferson from LSU. And I think this is the place where he gets taken.
I like that pick. I'm going to take that pick too.
All right. That's Justin Jefferson.
All right. And now we still – because the reason I didn't take Bond at 23 is because I think he fits better with the Saints here at 24. That simple. I think this is literally the perfect fit for the Saints.
Mm-hmm.
They need a linebacker. This is the guy. I think Bond goes here.
I agree. And I think Taysom Hill's their guy. I think he's their replacement. So I don't think they're going to take Love or Herbert there as well.
I think Hill might be the future for New Orleans. I do. So we'll see. Ethan's looking at us like he thinks we're crazy.
I don't know. I mean, Taysom Hill is it's a gadget guy. He hasn't really thrown that much in the NFL. So I don't know if he's quarterback potential, but there's plenty.
Look at Lamar Jackson. I mean, if we can see somebody who hasn't worked very well we were concerned about passing, and then you see the kind of animal that Lamar Jackson turned into, I would say you might want to give Taysom Hill a couple of games to see how he does a quarterback before we make any assumptions there.
I know, but also if worse comes to worse, I mean, if we're doing what we're doing in this draft and all these quarterbacks are falling all the way to the end, I don't think anyone is going to be really falling this far back. Or at least
fair enough.
It's going to be falling all the way back. And if worse comes to worse, they can just get another quarterback in the second or third round.
So what do the Vikings do here? This is interesting.
Well, I had them taking a receiver. We had Higgins here. Jalen Johnson's still here though, and I think they need the cornerback. So I would say.
I was going to say they're going to take a corner. Yep.
Yeah, Jalen Johnson's the really cornerback. Him or Jeff Gladney or Gladney, but I think Jalen Johnson's a better guy for you.
Gladney, yeah, but I prefer Johnson. Utah played really well with that defense last year. He was a big reason as to why, and I think that they trust with that, and they're going to take Johnson.
All right, Ethan, you going Joshua Jones or Cesar Ruiz here?
Well,
I still have Andrew Thomas, so my decision is made.
Yeah, they're 100% going for offensive linemen no matter what. I mean, Swift was.
Just be careful though, because I just read Joshua Jones Pro Cup and it's Bobby Massey. So, as a Bears fan, that's a major red flag.
Mm-hmm. So
I mean, Bobby Massey's not terrible. Ironically, Cesar Ruiz comp is James Daniels, so they're both Bears comps.
So they're both Bears looking after, but with all these offensive linemen that we've already got taken, if an offensive lineman that's not on this list falls into their hands at this pick, they'll definitely take them. But no matter what, I think they have to get an offensive lineman 100% in this top 3 picks. And that's why I think no matter who they pick, I think this time we'll just have Cesar Ruiz just because they're basically the same. It's coin. They're both really great guys. They're both humongous and will definitely block.
Yeah, I would lean Ruiz here.
I have 2 offensive linemen and a quarterback taken with these Dolphins picks. Their offensive line was absolutely atrocious. By putting in 2 rookies who can fit that, they really can save this team quite a lot of damage, and they could really make a quarterback look really good like Tua. So I think that this is definitely a good spot. Yeah, I have Andrew Thomas still available, so I took Andrew Thomas because Andrew Thomas you guys had going 10. I have him dropping all the way to 26, but I'm not waiting any longer on that one.
Yes.
Okay. Seattle here.
This is an easy one for me, but I'll let you guys go first.
I think they take Jonathan Taylor here.
Yeah, there you go. That's exactly what I have. This is the kind of running back that they were waiting for, and I think that if Taylor falls this far, then this is definitely the pick.
Now, if I could play devil's advocate to you and also to myself, is that line is not very good. So do you really want to be wasting a first-round pick on a running back if you don't have the horses up front to block for him? So it's interesting, but Taylor's too good of a talent to leave here at this pick.
Yes, I agree with that.
So many records with Wisconsin. I mean, he's 100% one of the better guys. I mean, I wish the Dolphins would pick him, but that's just me because I really want someone like him. He's kind of reminds me of like a Saquon Barkley kind of a guy that can just run through anybody.
Yeah, I'll be brutally honest with you. If I'm an NFL GM, I don't take running backs until the 3rd round.
Yeah, that is true.
I'm not talking in that money. I mean, these guys last 3, I think, in running back. I think on average they play 3.5 years in the NFL.
Yes.
And I'm just not taking that slotted money. I'm using elsewhere.
Mm-hmm. Especially with these guys.
So who are you taking? Are you still taking Jonathan Taylor?
I am going to take him. This is my own. If I was running a team.
Yeah.
All right, fair enough. I agree with that. I cannot believe the Ravens are the best team in the NFL.
Saquon Barkley is a different thing.
Yeah, Saquon Barkley is a different animal.
Christian McCaffrey is a different thing.
Yes.
And
running backs like Jonathan Taylor who have been injured that you might want to just be a little concerned about. But, yeah, I agree with you. I think you can't pass up any further than 27. Jonathan Taylor is a first-round running back.
Right.
If he falls anywhere past that, I'd be quite surprised.
Like if this were back in, 2000 – when was Gurley taken? 12, 13, 14?
Yeah.
15?
I think it was 13.
It was the ninth pick, correct?
Mm-hmm.
There's no way I would do that now. I don't think there's any – given how his trajectory, too, like he was hurt, like that's not going to happen anymore.
He had his one good season, and it really didn't help him because they didn't win the Super Bowl. So.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah, I mean, exactly. All right,
okay.
What are we at, 28 here? Yeah.
For the Baltimore Ravens.
Wide receiver.
They go KJ Hamler here?
Yes. I think Hamler, yes, he didn't play his senior year due to an injury, but, like, the way he ran and what was it, 18? Yeah, 18. He was an absolute monster then, and I don't expect anything to change here. They need another big-time wide receiver, and they get that out of KJ Hamler, so I have him taken.
What about Kenneth Murray? We still have him on the board. Oklahoma.
I don't, though.
Linebacker-wise, I think, because they need a linebacker.
I still have him on my board as well.
Yeah, most importantly, I think we need Kenneth Murray. They need a linebacker, and the best linebacker right now is Kenneth Murray, and then it goes.
Yeah, you're right. I would take him there too. I kind of forgot he was up there.
Yeah, I think they have to take him because he's one of the more versatile linebackers.
Yeah, I go him there.
And getting a young linebacker in there is a great idea. So I think we have him going there, but then we're going to be moving on to, which I think Matthew will agree with that, right? Who are you taking instead?
I took Hamler because I think right now the Ravens, they have a ton of talent on offense. They get that one more big-time receiver, and if Hamler pans out really well, oh, my goodness, it's game over for every other team in the NFL.
I mean, that Baltimore team is stacked no matter what in every position, so I'm telling you. So moving on to the pick number 29, the Tennessee Titans, the team that no one thought they could make it this far into the playoffs, and they are now somehow have the 29th pick, and they made it very, very far in the playoffs. Now, they did lose a few pieces in the defense, especially defensive line, so they're going to definitely
– Casey got traded to the Broncos.
Yes, which at the moment there really isn't that many. I mean, there's Blacklock from TCU. He's the highest defensive lineman out there at the moment that we have on our board. So, I mean, if there's going to
if I'm them, I take Trevon Diggs here.
Ron Diggs.
Ooh, I think that Jarrell Casey is too big of a loss to ignore here. So I remember at TCU watching them play Baylor in that triple overtime game. Ross Blacklock had 5 sacks in that game. The man is an absolute monster. He can tear it just straight down the middle, and hopefully this is a big boost to a Titans defense that just lost Jarrell Casey. I'm taking Blacklock here.
Okay, I'll agree with that.
They like their defensive front. Tennessee does. They're a big defensive front kind of a guy or team. So I think Blacklock is the best guy that will fit into this defense. Boom. Jeez.
All right, let's see here. We got 3 picks left. Wow, we flew by this.
We have zoomed.
Yeah, I don't care who
Resumed.
they pick. I just hope whoever they pick stinks.
Well, I hate to burst your bubble here, but I think this is not going to be a busted pick because we still have Gladney on the boards. And so I think that he fell this far. Back-to-back TCU defensive players get drafted. I got Gladney here at 30.
We still have Justin Herbert here. We still have Gladney, but we also still have Hamler here. And, I mean, wide receiver-wise.
Ooh, yeah. I'm just running out of good receivers on my board, so I
they're
can't
not the greatest
justify.
wide receiver-wise. So I think they really need that wide receiver. They have Devontae Adams, and then who else? Really nobody else. So for the Packers, I mean, they have to go after a wide receiver, and the best wide receiver right now is Hamler, and Hamler, I think, is the guy for them. Do you have anything to say about that, or you just don't care?
Yeah, I think I'm going to say they're going to take Gladney.
Gladney?
Yeah, I think Gladney's the perfect fit here for Green Bay. If he's still on the board, I think this was definitely a worthy pick.
All right. I'll go Gladney then.
So the Niners need another receiver? Nah.
You already got their wide receiver.
Not because we just took Ruggs, and so I was contemplating a cornerback earlier. We were talking about Trayvon Diggs earlier. I think this just might be the spot for him.
So I would say either Trayvon Diggs or hear me out here. I wouldn't be surprised if they took an AJ Epensa here.
See, now I was thinking that too. They could really use a replacement for Buckner, and Epineza would really not be a bad pick here at all.
Yeah.
And he was from Iowa. That's the kid from Iowa, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna switch my pick.
I'm gonna take him here.
You're gonna pick him for them to replace the loss of DeForest Buckner.
Yes.
That is a big loss.
And I think Diggs goes right here to the Chiefs.
You think? Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. That's why I remember the Chiefs were next, and I'm thinking, yeah, that's probably the place to go. And I think that we have players such as Edwards-Helaire from LSU, J.K. Dobbins. I still have McKinney not drafted here. There are a couple of players that are missing here. But, there's a lot of talent that is in this draft. And so even teams with an early second-round pick are going to get first-round pick level players. So it's just a tough place to pick here.
Well, I hope Jones slips to the Bears then. We need a tackle. If we don't, I also want the Bears to take Jalen Hurts. If I'm the Bears, I draft Jalen Hurts and I try to move Trubisky.
You guys really don't want Trubisky, do you?
I mean, I'm completely fine if he's our backup. So here's the thought: if you don't move Trubisky, fine. So let's say you find out. So to me, Foles is the unquestioned starter. They're saying it's a competition. I think that's all smoke.
Mm-hmm.
I think
you think it's all smoke.
You don't give up a 4th-round pick for a guy who's going to be in a competition. Given the 2 systems. Sorry, my dog. I have a puppy.
That's a dog. Hello.
So, and I think Hurts could be maybe a Taysom Hill type role this year. He's super athletic, and then I think moving forward, you don't pick up Mitch's 5th-year option. You let him walk, and you go through with the idea that Foles is a stopgap quarterback 2 to 3 years, and then your next man up is Jalen Hurts when he gets 2 to 3 years to learn in the system. So
we'll see. I think Hurts is going to go around the pick that the Bears have. We'll see if let's see if they take him. So all in all, let's see. I have 3 or 4 quarterbacks here? I have 3 because I don't have Jordan Love here yet. I got 3 quarterbacks. Some people have 4. Some people even have 2. I don't think you guys took Herbert at all, did you?
No,
you guys
took Herbert.
2. We had Herbert.
No.
Did you take Herbert with the Patriots pick?
I was going.
Mr. Jefferson.
You guys said you wanted to take Kinlaw instead.
All right, so that's 3 QBs for me. You guys only have 2. I have Herbert at 6, and you guys don't have Herbert at all. I think that's very interesting. We'll see if we're even close to right. I have my bold prediction is Tua falls hard, but still goes to Miami. But ultimately, I think we've built a pretty good draft class. I think we're going to be very close, if not perfect. I think that this is everything seems to make sense, but of course we can't predict trades, so I guess we'll never truly know.
Yeah.
But I think there is definitely a good chance of what we have being pretty good.
We just gotta hope, fingers crossed, that at least one of us gets it right and we get our Super Bowl ticket. Super Bowl tickets again.
Yeah, no kidding.
All right, gentlemen, it's been a pleasure. I have to go run.
Boom.
All right, take care, guys. It's a pleasure.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Bosco.
Later.
See you later.
No problem. Take care.
Thanks for watching the 16th episode of Just Talking About Sports. A little bit of a special edition. We get to add our own Spanish teacher, Mr. Bosco, who loves to talk sports with us. But thank you for him to tune in. He had to leave early, help go on his quick little run and go tune to his puppy that was barking halfway through our thing. But once again, thank you guys for watching, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your afternoon.
All right, take care, everybody.